Hi everyone, thanks for being here. So today we're going to keep working with the gateway postures and we're going to look specifically at Kurmasana. So I might point you towards some different pieces within the standing postures and before Kurmasana that prepare the body for Kurmasana. Sound good? So let's come to the top of the mat into Samastitihi. Close the eyes if you'd like, and just feeling into your connection with the ground. So starting from the ground up, feeling the feet making contact and the weight of the body moving down through those points of contact. And just notice how can you place the body, orient the body, so that you can really feel into that rooting down. So maybe you're shifting back, forward, or maybe you're shifting in to one side to just balance out how the body is positioned. And then actively rooting the feet down as you also drop the tailbone and the pubic bone, and just notice how those actions help you to further ground into the earth. Root the feet down, lift the kneecaps, drop the tailbone and the pubic bone down towards the center. And then counteract that by lifting the spine out of the pelvis, reaching the crown of the head up towards the ceiling, and let the shoulders relax away from the ears. And tune into the breath, moving in and out through the nostrils, with a gentle tone in the vocal cords, but releasing any excess tension in the throat. Deep, steady breaths in and out through the nostrils. Start to come into that deep, rhythmic breath, matching the length of the inhales to the length of the exhales. On your next inhale, prepare for the opening mantra. You can join or just listen, starting with an Om. Vande Gurunam Charanaravinде Sandarshita Swatma Sukhavabode Nishreyase Jangali Kayamane Samsara Hala Hala Mohashantye Abahu Purushakaram Shankachakrasidharinam Sahasra Shirasam Shwetam Pranamami Patanjalim. Exhale the arms back down to your side, opening the eyes, and we'll start with Surya Namaskara A. Inhale, bringing the arms over your head, palms touch. Exhale, fold. Hands to the mat, bend the knees if you need to. Inhale, half lift. Lift the heart forward and away from the legs. Exhale, step back into a high plank. Lower the knees to modify and bend the elbows while you keep the heart open. Spread the collarbones. Inhale, upward facing dog. Point the toes. Lift the heart and let the hips sink towards the mat. Exhale into downward facing dog. Tuck the toes or roll through the toes. And reach the hips up and back. We'll just take this first down dog as our opportunity to settle in and just check in what's present for you. Where are you? What's present in this moment? Not according to your expectations before you stepped on the mat or according to what you did yesterday, but simply what's present right now without adding anything on to that. Just feeling, just experiencing. Okay, let's take one more breath here. Fully exhale. At the bottom of the exhale, bend the knees, drop the tailbone, gaze forward. Step or jump to the top of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Relaxing the back. Inhale, come to stand. Press through the feet, reach the arms up. Exhale, float the arms back down, Samasthiti. Again, just like that, inhale, arms over your head. Exhale, fold, fully exhaling. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step or jump back. Chaturanga Dandasana. Shoulders away from the ears, spread the collarbones, gaze forward. Inhale, upward facing dog. Maybe lift the thighs, maybe not. Exhale, downward facing dog. Coming into the breath. So finding the tone in the vocal cords. The Ujjayi breathing. The smooth, rhythmic breaths in and out through the nostrils, matching the length of the inhales to the length of the exhales. Allow the breaths to be expansive. One more. The bottom of the exhale, step or jump to the top. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Remember, you can bend the knees here if you need to. Inhale, come to stand, press the feet, drop the tailbone and pubic bone. Exhale, float the arms back down into Samasthiti. Good. We'll do that again. Inhale, arms over your head, palms touch. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step or jump back. Tone the lower belly as you bend the elbows. Inhale, upward facing dog. Press the shoulders, lift the heart. Exhale, downward facing dog. Settling. Good. Wrapping the shoulder blades around towards the front so you're spreading the upper back. And then lifting the armpits away from the floor as you press through the hands and lift the sit bones up and back. Bend the knees here if you need to, a little bit or a lot. Whatever helps you to really feel that length from the hands through the hips so they reach up and back. One more deep breath here. Fully exhaling, step or jump to the top. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come to stand. Press down, reach up. Exhale, Samasthiti. Let's do one more. Inhale, arms over your head. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Moving with the breath. Exhale, step or jump back, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Deep, steady breaths. And relaxing the neck so that you can gaze up towards the thighs or towards the navel. So you don't want to strain the neck, but you want to lengthen the back of it and relax it, release the tension. One more breath here. Fully exhaling. Step or jump to the top. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come to stand. Root down to reach up. Exhale, come back to the center, Samasthiti. Surya Namaskar B. Inhale, take a deep breath in. Exhale, bend the knees, Utkatasana. Inhale, lift the arms in the chest. Exhale, fold forward, straightening the legs only as much as it's comfortable. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step or jump back, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Spread the collarbones, lift the heart. Exhale, downward facing dog. Bring the right foot forward, lower the back heel. Inhale, come up, Virabhadrasana. Palms press, gaze up. Exhale, come back down, hands to the mat, step back into a plank and lower through Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left foot forward. Take extra breaths here if you need to. Come up, arms over your head. Exhale, come back down. Again, take extra breaths. Step back, bend the elbows if you need to. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Or of course, you're always welcome to take child's pose. Settling in wherever you are and connecting to the breath. Especially if you lost that mindful inhale, exhale through Surya Namaskar B. It's a little bit more difficult to maintain. Mindfully breathing in and breathing out. Let's take one more breath here. Fully exhaling. Step or jump to the top. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, bend the knees. Lift the chest. Exhale, Samasthiti. Let's do one more Surya Namaskar B. Inhale, deep breath in. Exhale, bend the knees. Inhale, keep the knees bent as you lift the heart. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step or jump back. Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Right foot forward. Inhale, keep bending into that right knee. Exhale, come back down. Step back, bend the elbows. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog, left foot forward. Inhale. Exhale. Finish the exhale at the bottom of the plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Connect into the breath. Connect into the base of the pelvis. Feel that energy gathering at the base of the pelvis and then drawing it up by drawing the lowest part of the lower belly in and up. Good. Let's take one more breath here. Fully exhaling. Step or jump to the top. Half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, bend the knees. Sink the hips as you reach the heart and the arms up. Exhale, Samastitihi. Padangustasana. Let's bring the feet hip width distance apart. Inhale, fold forward, catch the big toes, and lengthen through the spine. Exhale, fold forward. Bend the knees here if you need to. Relax the spine as you reach the crown of the head towards the mat. But keep stability in the body through the legs. So rooting through the feet, lifting the kneecaps. Maybe you're bending the knees. That keeps the quads engaged. Allow the back of the legs to lengthen. It's important to have long hamstrings for Kurmasana. Come into the breath for one more. Inhale, lift the heart, fully exhale. It's Supata Hastasana. Slide the hands underneath the feet. Inhale, lengthen again, creating space. And then exhale from that space, fold forward. Again, bend the knees here if you need to, especially if you need some extra support to release the lower back. Good. Keep rooting through the feet, through the heels, and lifting through the sit bones to lengthen the hamstrings. If you feel any pain at the sit bones or behind the knees, then maybe either draw the sit bones down and towards each other or bend the knees a little bit. Let's take one more breath here. Inhale, look up and lengthen. Fully exhale. Inhale, let's come all the way up to the top. Exhale into Samastitihi. Uttita Trikonasana. Inhale, step the right foot back. Arms out to the side, pivot the toes towards the back of the mat and the left toes in at 45 degrees. Exhale, reach towards the side through that right hand and bring the right hand either to the right shin, the left arm up, or you can bring the hand to the floor, or the hand to the big toe, or the hand to a block on the floor. So whatever allows you to stay rooted through the legs and keep that torso over the right leg. So it's not tilting forward. If that's happening, then maybe you're just bringing that right hand down too far. Bring the heart over that right leg and drop the tailbone towards the left heel so you're not arching the back and you're not letting the rib cage splay out. Good. Draw the ribs in and lengthen the spine. One more breath. Inhale, coming out of it, pivot the feet. Exhale, left side. So this posture feels really grounded and stable, but also very expansive. So you're pressing down and out through both feet, reaching both hands away from each other, reaching the heart towards the front of the mat, but staying integrated and centered. How can you be expansive, but also drawn in towards your center? Holding both of those at the same time. Good. One more breath. Inhale, come up. Pivot around, face the back of the mat. Square the hips and the shoulders towards the back of the mat. So maybe those left toes need to turn in a little bit more. And we're going to do the twisting version. Exhale, left hand comes down to the floor and the right arm reaches up. So that left hand can either be on the inside of the foot or the outside of the foot. And it can be on the floor or on a block. And same thing, you're grounded but expanding and just adding a twist in the middle of that. Breathing deeply into the rib cage so that also finds that expression of expansion. Spreading across the collarbones by pressing the hands, moving the hands away from each other. Good. On your next exhale, gaze down for balance. Inhale, coming out of it. Pivot around other side. Exhale, left side. So now you're facing the front of the mat. Right hand comes down. And the left arm comes up. So if it's difficult for you to have relatively straight legs, then place something underneath the right hand. And you can still embody this posture. Draw the lower belly in, come into the breath, and smooth out the edges of the breath. One more. Exhale, gaze down, find your balance, and then inhale, coming out of it, opening to the side with control. Reach the arms out. Exhale into Samasthiti. Prasarita Padottanasana. Inhale, step the right foot back, hands to your hips. Exhale, hands to the mat. Inhale, lengthen through the spine, root through the feet. Exhale, fold, crown of the head towards the mat. And then if the elbows are bent, you can walk the hands back. And so you're moving the torso through the legs. You can use the hands to help you press the hands down and back to pull the torsos through the leg. But as you do that, make sure you don't collapse on the collarbone. So keep the elbows drawing in, the shoulders away from the ears. Nice and broad through the collarbones. And just feel into this position. The torso moving and sliding through the legs. We're going deeper into the hip flexion. It's going to be an important position for Kurmasana. Inhale, straighten the arms, lift the heart. Fully exhale. Inhale, come all the way up to the top. Exhaling there. So we're going to do all four here since it's such an important posture. Inhale for B, arms out to the side. Exhale, hands to your hips. Inhale, take a deep breath in. Exhale, fold forward and keep the hands on the hips. So just notice also, where is this position coming from? How is the torso moving in the direction past the legs? See, in this one especially, we're not going to actually move the torso past the legs, but where is that movement coming from? Feel what's happening in the hips. And if you feel any restrictions, And just noticing. One more breath. On your next inhale, come all the way up to the top. Exhaling there. See, inhale, reach the arms to the side. Exhale, interlace the fingers behind the back. Inhale, reach the hands down as you open the heart. Exhale, fold forward and move the hands away from the hips. Keep the legs strong. Draw the lower belly in. So also notice when you push the lower belly out, that makes it more difficult to relax into this fold. So draw the lower belly in to allow the front of the hips to soften. Relax the neck and the shoulders. One more breath here. Inhale, all the way up to the top. Exhale there. Last one, D. Inhale, hands to the hips. Deep breath in. Exhale, fold forward, catch the big toes. Inhale, lengthen as you root through the feet. Exhale, fold. Crown of the head towards the mat and keep holding on to the toes. Good. So if you weren't able to draw the lower belly in, so you're going to have to find engagement on a deeper level. So try to find strengthen the legs for sure. That's the main engagement here. And then try to see if you can find Mula Bandha, drawing the energy at the base of the pelvis. And then drawing that energy up along the spine towards the heart. So you draw the lower belly in. And that should help you to really draw the lower belly in, hollowing through the front of the pelvis so you can soften in the front of the hips. One more breath here. Inhale, lift the heart. Fully exhale. Inhale, come all the way up to the top. Exhale into Samasthiti. Good. All right, check out the legs if that was a lot on the legs. I started to feel it on the outside of my calves. All right, Parsvottanasana, bring the hands into reverse prayer. So you're going to either bring the palms together behind the back or the fists together behind the back. And once you have that position, or you could also just grab onto opposite forearms, make sure you really roll the shoulders back and then use the hands or the fist that are on the back to help you lift the heart up. So you feel like this spreading across the collarbones and opening across the heart. Step the right foot back, face the back of the mat, square the hips and the shoulders. And let's just take one more breath in here. Inhale, roll the shoulders back, lift the heart, use the hands behind you to help you get that lift. And then exhale, fold forward, but keep that opening across the collarbones as you relax and round the back slightly. Folding the shoulders evenly over the right leg. Good, keep lifting the elbows so you can keep getting that opening through the heart across the collarbones. Take one more breath here. Inhale, come up, pivot around to the front. And let's take another deep breath in here. Roll the shoulders back, lift the heart, exhale, fold. Lift the elbows. Draw the lower belly in. Come into the breath. Notice if you're collapsing in the heart, reach the heart towards the toes. And let the gaze be wherever it naturally lands without straining the neck. One more breath here. Inhale, come all the way up, release the hands. Exhale into Samasthiti. Inhale, arms over your head, palms touch. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step or jump back. Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Deep breath in. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, let's jump through to seated. If you don't know how to jump through, just sink the knees, cross the shins, and sit back behind the feet into Dandasana. So legs straight out in front of you. Hands next to the hips. Find the shoulders over the hips. If this initial position is difficult for you, bend the knees and think about drawing the heels down and towards you. That'll help you to rotate the pelvis so that you can find a straight spine and so that you're directly on top of the sit bones. Drop the chin. And we'll settle here for a few breaths. So really allow the attention to draw inwards by gazing down the tip of the nose. Again, connecting to the base of the pelvis, drawing that inwards, drawing all of that engagement energy in towards the center of the bottom of the pelvis. And then gently lifting that up towards the heart. One more breath here. Expansive breath. Lift the chin, release that. We'll do one forward fold. Inhale, reach forward, catch the big toes, or if that's too far, fingertips on the floor alongside the legs. And on your next exhale, fold forward by reaching the rib cage away from the hips and relaxing the muscles along the spine. Keep the legs strong. It's your foundation here, your stability. And notice if the collarbones are closing, if the shoulders are coming towards the ears. Roll them back, open the heart, spread the collarbones, and reach them towards the toes as you move into the forward fold. Breathing deeply, breathing into the back side of the body. Let's take one more here. Inhale, look up and lengthen. Fully exhale. Let's go straight into Purvottanasana. Point the toes, drop the tailbone, slide the hands behind the hips. Inhale, lift the hips, and drop the head back. If you need to modify, you can bend the knees and plant the feet, like reverse tabletop. Good. A couple more breaths here. Keep the feet together, the legs spiraling inwards. Lift the pelvis, lift the heart. Good. On your next exhale, slowly come down. Let's take a vinyasa. Cross the shins, roll over the feet or lift up if that's available to you. Exhale from plank, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, jump through to seated. Let's do Janu Shirshasana A. Bend the right knee, let the knee fall out to the side. Prop the knee up if you have any pressure in the knee. Square the shoulders forward over the left leg. Inhale, deep breath in. And then exhale, fold, either keeping the fingertips on the floor or catching the left foot. So paying attention to that line on the right side. So the right hip and the right side of the torso. Just feel all of that opening up. All around the right hip. Allow that to open. Releasing that as you reach the heart forward. Let's take one more breath here. Inhale, look up. Fully exhale. Good. Release that and let's just go straight to the other side. Bring the right knee towards the chest again, straighten the leg on the left side. Bend the left knee, let the knee fall out to the side. Inhale, square the shoulders, deep breath in. Exhale, fold. Now noticing the left side. Opening around the left hip. Feel the length through the left side of the torso. So as the left hip rolls back and down, the heart reaches forward. And you keep the right leg strong and stable so that this opening can happen, that release can happen. One more breath here. Inhale, look up. Fully exhale. Good. Release that. Let's take a vinyasa. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, jump back. Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, let's jump through to seated. Now we're going to do Marichyasana A. So we're going to spend a little bit of time in this posture because it's super important for Kurmasana. So you're going to bend the right knee, plant the right foot, make sure there's space between the right foot and the left leg. And then once you plant that foot, lift the hip. And so what we want to do is we're going to move deeply into the right hip crease, something that we started to pay attention to in Prasarita Padottanasana in the standing postures. So first we're going to let the knee fall out to the side so that the pelvis has that space to fold on the inside of the thigh. Start to fold the chest forward on the inside of the thigh and just notice how the pelvis is moving forward. Yeah, so we're moving into the hip crease. And then as far as you can go, as far as you can reach the chest forward, you could even hold onto the inside of the left foot if that helps you to keep moving in that direction. And then once you find your limit, you're going to squeeze that knee back in. And then this could be enough for Marichyasana A. So just making sure that you keep the heart open, you're not collapsing, you're reaching the heart forward, right? And then you could also take the bind, wrapping that right arm around, spin the thumb down, bring the hand towards the back. So you might reach somewhere around like the back side of the rib cage. And the left arm also reaches around. Keep that left elbow up. That'll give you some space in the shoulder joint. And then maybe you bind the hands behind the back. Maybe use a strap as an arm extender. We're going to take another deep breath in here. Keep the heart open. Lift that right hip if it hasn't lifted already. And if it's difficult to lift, then elevate the hips onto a blanket or onto a pillow. And on your next exhale, you're going to fold forward. Keep lifting that right hip as you fold over towards the left leg. Good. And just feel into that space in the right hip. And if you have the bind, you can think about moving the elbows away from each other. Super important to keep the collarbones nice and broad. We'll see how this plays into Kurmasana. The neck is released. Don't create any extra tension in the neck. We'll take one more breath here. Inhale, look up. Exhale, release. Good. Now you can place that right hip on the floor as you release the hands. And now, since we're here, let's do Marichyasana C, and we'll do a twist. So you'll hug either hug the right knee with the left arm. Keep the right arm behind you for a twist. Or you could also elbow on the outside of the knee and you press each against each other. Or you can go for the full bind. We'll just take a few more breaths here. Use the inhales to find length all the way from the bottom of the spine to the top of the spine, finding length. And then exhale, moving deeper into the twist if the space is available. Good, one more breath. And exhale, release that. Let's take a vinyasa. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, let's jump through to seated. And let's do both those postures on the left side. Plant the left foot. Make sure there's space. Notice when there's not space, there's not a lot of space for the pelvis to move. Elevate that left hip. And already, if that's difficult to get that left hip to lift, elevate the hips onto cushions as high as you need them to be. Let the knee fall out, fold forward, find your depth here. Feel the pelvis rotating so that we can move into the hip crease. Close that knee in when you're ready. And if it's available, taking the bind. Inhale wherever you are. Exhale, fold. Good. Notice also the lower back, how the lower back needs to lengthen and release to move into this position. Notice if there's any restriction there. The lower back needs to be really long for these deep forward folds, which essentially that's what this is. That's what Kurmasana is, just a super deep forward fold. Check at the collarbones, the heart. Keep it open, one more breath. Inhale, look up. Exhale, release. Good. And then we'll go into Marchasana C. Taking your version, hugging the knee, bringing the elbow on the outside of the knee, or binding. Deep, steady breaths. Following the breath, deepening the breath, finding new spaces to breathe into. One more. And exhale, release that. Vinyasa, inhale, lift up or roll over the feet. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, let's jump to a squat or step to a squat. So bring your feet as wide as the mat, sink the hips. Let's just stay here for a moment to really get into the hips. And if you want, you can press the elbows on the insides of the thighs to really open the heart. Sit on a block if you need to. Open the feet as wide as you need to. Good. Keep rolling the shoulders back and down. Good. Couple more breaths. All right, sit the hips down. Good. And I'm going to turn this way just so you can see me. You don't need to turn. All right, so we're going to do Kurmasana, which essentially, getting into it is kind of like a double Marichasana. So we're going to bring the feet about mat width apart, or maybe a little bit wider. So you might need to adjust that as you start moving into it and you realize what's appropriate for you. And you're going to let the knees fall out to the side. Again, so the pelvis can move on the inside. We can move into this hip flexion, deep hip flexion. So just really quick, this is hip flexion when we close the front of the hip. And then hip extension is when we open the front of the hip. Like we're opening up from the front side. So hip flexion, we're closing the front of the hip, but we're moving even deeper than just closing it here. We're moving deeper into that hip flexion action. So let the knees fall out to the side and then come on the middle. Yeah. And then once you find your depth of folding forward, just like in Marichasana A, squeeze the knees back in. Good. So this might be as far as you go for Kurmasana, which is fine. Maybe the elbows aren't even coming down. Maybe it's just the hands. And now if you feel comfortable here, we're going to try to bring the arms underneath the legs. So you're going to lean over to one side, thread the arm through at a diagonal behind you, and reach it back as far as you can. And then even when you start to lean over to the other side, keep reaching that hand back. And then thread the other arm through. To move, make space for myself. All right, good. And now before you straighten the legs, really see if you can reach the hands back as far as you can so that you're squeezing the knees in, you're internally rotating through the thighs, and the shoulders, as close as you can, the shoulders are coming underneath the arms as much as you can. So you want the elbows, at least the elbows, to pass the arms. If they have, then you can start to straighten the legs. See if that's possible, which starts to bring the chest towards the floor. And as you do that, remember that opening across the collarbones. So you're reaching the heart forward, and you can do this by pressing the palms down into the floor and towards the heart. That's going to open the heart and pull the shoulders back and down. So you're not collapsing in the collarbones. Maybe the legs are so straight and engaged that they lift off the floor. Maybe the hips do too. But wherever you are, keep the legs spiraling in towards the side of the body. The hands pressing down and towards you, the heart opening. And you can do all of these things even if you're only halfway down. Yeah? Even if you're just here. Rolling the shoulders back and down. We'll be here for just a couple more breaths. Come into the breath. Feel the legs squeezing in towards the center and moving, and then feel your torso moving deeper into the forward fold. Good. When you're ready, you can slowly come out of that. You can come out of it by bending the knees again. Just come out of it the same way you came in and taking one arm out at a time. So most of the time, it's not a very graceful exit. All right. Okay. And also, most of the time from there, you go straight into Supta Kurmasana, which we'll do another class. So, Sega Vinyasa, inhale. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good. All right, let's come to our knees. So we're going to try Titibhasana, which Titibhasana is interesting because it's like Kurmasana, just oriented a little bit differently. But before we do, I want you to remember that feeling from Kurmasana, that you're kind of like drawing in. It's like a very like inwardly drawn posture. But then from that inward drawing, you feel like the heart opening, the legs extending. Yeah, it's that same balance that we experience in so many postures. And it's important to feel into that for Titibhasana because you need the stability that comes from that. You need the heart expanding to support the weight of the legs. Because you're going to feel the weight of the legs as you start to straighten the legs. Yeah, but then you need the legs kind of drawing towards the shoulders so that they don't like splay out and collapse out. Yeah? So we're going to take this again step by step and stop anywhere along this pathway that works for you, because at any point along this pathway you can still embody everything for Titibhasana. So you're going to come into a squat again, but this time we're going to straighten the legs and bring the hands behind the feet. And just to keep in mind, this is a second series posture, so it's more difficult. And then you're going to use the hand behind the calf, so the right hand catches behind the calf, to scoot the right shoulder behind the right knee. And then you do the same thing to the left side. Scoot the left shoulder behind the left knee. And then you see here already how we're going really deep into hip flexion. We're really going into a deep forward fold. And once you have the knees, the back of the knees, as high up on the arms as possible, hands behind the feet, and then you're going to start to bend the elbows, sink the hips down as you lift the heels up. So now you're on the tippy toes. And then from here, you can just stay here and lift the feet. You can straighten the legs halfway, or I need to move to do the full version, or you can straighten the legs all the way. And as you're doing any of these versions, make sure you keep the heart open, shoulders back and down, and feel that internal spiral from the legs to help squeeze the inner thighs inward. Good. And if you have the legs straight, maybe try lifting the hips a little bit, because that helps to keep the heart really nice and open, as opposed to just letting the hips drop. That encourages more for the collarbones to collapse. Yeah? So if the legs are straight, lift the hips, open the heart. So good. Yeah. Another version is to have the legs like parallel to the floor. I've seen that. All right, so we'll keep trying for a couple more minutes. Maybe you're just working on this first part of like getting the preparatory position. And it's just about a shifting weight. You're shifting the weight from the feet into the hands. Drawing the elbows in, keeping the heart open. And then when you start to straighten the legs, you see, oh, this is why I need long hamstrings. All right. Finishing up. It's a difficult posture, but it's fun. All right. If you're done, Sega Vinyasa. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, let's jump through to seated. Exhale, lie down on your back. Bend the knees, plant the feet alongside the outside edges of the hips. Inhale, deep breath in. Exhale, tailbone, knees forward. Inhale, lift the pelvis into bridge pose. Feel free to go into full Urdhva Dhanurasana if you'd like. So we did so much closing of the front of the hips. Now we're doing the opposite. We're opening, we're extending the hips. So just appreciate that release from all of that drawing in. One more breath for this round. And then exhale, slowly come down. We'll do 2 more rounds of bridge or Urdhva Dhanurasana. Inhale, deep breath in. Exhale, knees forward, hips forward. Inhale, come up into bridge. We're bringing the hands next to the ears for full wheel pose. Breathing deeply into the front side of the body to lengthen, into the back side of the body to spread. Simply appreciating the opening through the front of the body. One more. Exhale, come down. And then last round, inhale, come up. Deep, steady breaths. One more here. And exhale. Come all the way down. Hug the knees into the chest. Rock side to side. If it feels good, you can take happy baby. And let's rock up to seated. Bird forward fold. You can do straight legs or bring the feet together and let the knees fall out for a diamond shape. Exhale, fold. Releasing the spine, coming into the breath, lengthening the breath. Couple more here. Inhale, come out of that. Let's take a vinyasa. Inhale, lift up or roll over the feet. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, let's come through to seated. And we'll do shoulder stand. So lying down on your back, bringing the feet over the hips. Version 1. Another version is you can place a block underneath the hips, or you can go for the full shoulder stand. I need to modify today. But if you don't need to, lift the hips, bring the hands to the lower back or towards the rib cage and reach the toes up. Take long, deep, steady breaths here. If you're in the full shoulder stand, make sure the shoulders are rolling down the back so the neck has a lot of space. And then move the chin away from the chest. Deep, steady breaths. Couple more. On your next exhale, you can come down into Halasana. The hands can stay on the lower back, or you can interlace the fingers. Keep the breath deep and rhythmic. On your next exhale into Karnapidasana, bending the knees so the knees come next to the ears and you round the spine, or come into Happy Baby. Couple more breaths here or wherever you are. On your next exhale, slowly roll down the spine, lower the hips, and then slowly lower the legs. And we'll take a counter pose with the legs straight, or for the more conventional version, in lotus or the shins crossed. We're going to press into the elbows, lift the heart, open the throat, and bring the crown of the head towards the mat. If the legs are straight, keep the elbows on the floor and press through the elbows. And if the legs are in lotus or crossed, then lift the elbows and bring the hands to the thighs. Opening the heart, opening the throat, and let the mind melt into the mat. Feel that. Deep breaths into the front side. Stay with it. Couple more breaths. And exhale, press into the elbows, tuck the chin, and come out of it. Let's rock up to seated, or you can take a Chakrasana. Take a Vinyasa. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, let's come to seated. You can take full lotus or just come into a comfortable seated position. Good. Wrap the arms behind the back, take the bind, or just grab onto opposite elbows. Inhale, deep breath in. Exhale, fold for about 5 breaths at your own pace. One more breath. Coming up, release the hands, wrist towards the knees, pointer towards the thumb, drop the chin. And again, come into the breath. Feel the sit bones rooting down, Mula Bandha gathering at the base of the pelvis, drawing it up, drawing the lower belly in and up. Drop the chin. And feel the expansion of the inhales and contraction of the exhales. And then also feel the contraction in the inhales and the expansion in the exhales. The balance of those two with each inhale and each exhale. So as you inhale and the ribcage expands, feel also that drawing in towards the center. And as you exhale and the ribcage contracts, also feel that expansion out away from the center. So you're balancing both within each inhale and each exhale. A couple more breaths here. Deep rhythmic breaths. At the bottom of your next exhale, let's bring the palms to heart center. We'll close here with the closing mantra. Swasti prajabhyaha paripalayantan nyayena margena mahim mahishaha go brahmanebhyaha shubhamastu nityam lokha samasta sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you, everyone. Take a final vinyasa. And we'll go into Shavasana. We'll rest for a few moments. Very important part of the practice is to rest and allow the practice to integrate on that deep level. A moment to let go of everything. Let go of engagement, of technique, of expectation, of precision, of an image we have in our minds of what we should look like. We let all of that go and simply allow the ground to support you. The ground to hold the body. So we're giving into the support. We're surrendering into the support. So that the practice can take root on a deep physical, mental, spiritual level. Feel free to stay here longer if you'd like, but if you're ready to move out of it, you can make small movements with the fingers and the toes. Reach the arms over your head. Deep breath. And then as you exhale, bring the knees into the chest. Falling over to either side. And slowly making your way back up to seated. We'll just rest here for a moment before we move on with the rest of our day. Taking a moment with the attention inwards, tuned into experience as it is in this moment. We'll bring the palms to heart center. Finish with an Om. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for being here and for sharing your practice with me and with this community. Thank you.